Hey, hey, how's it going, everybody? How's it going?
Hey everybody, how
Yes,
y'all doing? Those who are catching the replay,
no doubt, no doubt. This is
happy
Terrence
Tuesday.
and Jill, a God-Ordained Union.
Yes, if this is your first time joining our live,
Yes, check us out. Check out the first 5 videos.
we are on a mission to help increase kingdom marriages. So,
Yes,
if you are praying for your person, you are kicking and screaming and wondering where that person is and how long that person's going to take, all that, we understand you on the right channel. We've been there,
done that.
done that, and got to do that again.
Yes,
We've
yes,
been there, done
yes.
that. And I'm going to tell you, God answers prayers. God answers prayers. He really does answers prayers.
Absolutely.
So make sure you put in your notifications, subscribe to the channel. We go live every single Tuesday, Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Who
Yes.
else? Share our videos, comment. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it. That's it.
Woo! All right, y'all. We got a good one tonight. Got a good one. Only because I am so invested in this love story. I am super honored to be invested in this love story. Hey, 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 whoever's that jumping in, y'all tell us who you are. Say hi. Say hey, hey, hey. But yeah, I am invested in this love story. So let me ask a question. Are you, if you are watching a replay or even if you're on live, whoever's on live, do you think that God has shown you the person who is your future spouse and you in a period of, it's him or her, and you just in that period of waiting? With this special guest, God showed her who her husband is, her future husband is. The future husband confirmed that she's his wife, that she is his wife. And now, but they haven't gone to the next level. They have not sealed the relationship. So they're in a very, very weird space. So let me just bring on our special guest. Well, let me first, before I bring her on, let me just say this about her. All right. So she is my work bestie. So we ain't gonna tell you where we work, but she's my work bestie. And when I say a dynamic duo, don't nobody do it better than us. Like from just about from the first time we started working together, we came in and we were hired like back to back from each other, and we came in like this, and it is such a beautiful dynamic that is recognized. It is recognized like throughout the organization. It is recognized that we work well. So they call us the money. Well, we call ourselves the money team. They call us the IRS because we be like run us our money, like we the money people. So but she is known as the Pink Diva. She is the socialite. So when I met her, like the men love her. The women either love her or hate her because she's that chick. She's a girl's girl. She's a girl's girl. She is a girl's girl, but you either love her or you hate her. But she got a heart of gold. And let me tell you, she is the socialite. Yeah, she's a millennial. She is like the socialite, social butterfly. Like we talking about, girl, I'm coming to work the late. I'm coming to work late because I was out late last night. She's one of those. Um, but but let me tell you, don't get it twisted. She's rooted. When I say the Lord has been chasing that girl, she is rooted, born and raised in the church, mama and daddy. I think one of them is a deacon, one of them is a minister. And so she can't go but so far. So this story is about to, I promise y'all, this story is about to bless y'all. All right. So without further ado, y'all, um, I'm introducing my work bestie, Olivia Johnson.
Oh, thank you. That's a good introduction, girl. I was like, who is this?
And y'all, look, she called Terrence Uncle T, because guess why, y'all? Because
Uncle T.
I'm the same age as her mama. I think I'm a month older than her mother.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so she called.
A couple months. Yeah, a couple months.
Yeah, couple months. So
well, thank you. Thank you. That's a lovely introduction. I'm so happy to be here. I'm glad to be here.
Why is my
Yes.
okay,
Thank y'all for bringing me on. What's wrong?
Okay, my mama is asking me for the link to the live. So hold on a minute.
You got to give mama the link.
I got to give mama the link. Oh, Lord. Yeah. And when I say this is all the way live,
that's what we do.
That's all right.
God,
what you see is what you get.
Ordained.
That's the great thing about going live.
3, 4, 2. Oh, you know what? I sent you let me just forward the link that I sent you.
Right. Yeah, because you sent me the direct link.
Okay. Hold on, y'all.
I'm glad to see everybody getting on. Glad we got a guest. This is about to get juicy.
It's going to be juicy.
People going to sleep well tonight.
Just a little bit.
People going to sleep well tonight.
Okay, let me also put Deasia on here.
You said people going to sleep well.
People need something to sleep with now.
Okay. Your wife. Okay. All right. So I sent the link out to her. All right. All right. Ooh. All right. So you want me to set the story up?
Yeah, go ahead. Lay it out. Tell them what happened.
Okay, so I'm going to just set the story up at the part where I came in, because Olivia going to take it over from there. She's going to take it over because this her love story. But I definitely want to set this up because this is how deep this is. I know that I'm at this job because of her. This is how deep this is. This is how deep this is. All right. So one Friday, it was a Friday last August. Just a normal Friday. We come in casual. It's our Friday. Our thing is we're going to finish strong. We're going to finish the week strong. And so we came to work, and Olivia was late, of course.
Fashionably late, y'all.
Fashionably late, and
still telling all my business.
Heels like this on a Friday. It was that Friday. It was different. So she came. So what she usually does, she late, but she gonna come to my office with her breakfast, and she gonna talk about what normally happens the night before. Now that week, I think it was maybe 2 weeks prior, she had met this guy, and every week there's a new guy who like her. So this particular week, I mean, in the last couple of weeks, there was a guy. We gave all of them aliases. All of them got a name. From one name was IT, one name was New York, one name was Jamaica, one name was Africa, one name was, everybody got a name. So this particular, she was really liking a guy who we named Director.
Yeah.
So as she usually do, her and Director were going strong for 2 whole good weeks. That was good. They was going strong for 2 whole weeks. So she came in my office, and she had her breakfast, but she was different. She was saying that she was concerned that she hadn't heard from Director in a couple of days, but it was different. And she kept saying, I don't even think you were eating. You kept on saying, when I say I saw the presence of the Lord on her, like, don't get it twisted. She will be out. Olivia could be out partying and 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, still come to work late, but she gonna listen to her gospel music all day.
That's right.
That's how God have his hand on her. So she came to my office, and I saw something different on her. Like, when I say it was a difference, it was a difference. It was a presence on her. And she was like, I just can't. I can't. I don't know what's going on with me. She said, I can't shake this thing. She said, I can't shake it. And I said, well, what is wrong? And she said, I don't know. She said, so she left out my office. She went to her office, which was right across the hall. And she came back over to the office, to my office across the hall. And she said, I'm listening to Sarah Jakes, and oh my God, it's just like, it literally looked like her spirit was coming out of her body. And I said, is it director? Like, what is going on? Like, she was like, I don't know. She said, I don't know if I should go home. She started crying, like she was tearing up. She said, I just can't shake this thing. I don't know what it is. Kept going all morning. She kept going back and forth. And I said, it's something on you. I see a presence on you. And it was beautiful. It was the presence of God was on her life. So then maybe about almost lunchtime, she comes into my office and she says, did I ever tell you about this guy, Angel? That's who we're going to call him. She said, this guy, Angel. And I said, no, you never told me about him. She said, well, it's this guy, and I had a dream about him. And it's just like, I can't shake it. And I'm in my head like, well, they're going. Well, she done kicked director to the curb that quick. You know? So take over the story from here. Like, tell me, let's go back from the beginning. Where did Angel come from?
So Angel, I met Angel back in college. First college, actually. Ran across him with some mutual friends. He expressed his interest in me, and I really wasn't going for it. Like, you just get into school, you ain't really trying to, get too serious with a guy. So no, we gonna kick that one to the curb. So a couple years after that, he tried it again. So now, we just casually dated a little. And at that moment, I was just going into like real adulthood, making money. I had a good career. Again, I was like, yeah, I don't think, the time is now. So I'm thinking like, you a good man. I'm just not, it's me, it's not you. So then couple years after that, I moved to Charlotte. He got in a relationship. I was in a relationship. Then he got engaged. And I was like, oh, I guess, we wasn't really meant to be there.
How did you know he was engaged?
Social media.
Okay.
Yeah, social media. But then, I did, hold on, let me back up because I missed the part. I ran into him twice.
Okay.
At a football game and in the mall when he was buying his engagement ring. So I knew the steps of how that this was serious. Yeah, right. So I'm happy for him. I'm never gonna shun away from love. That's who you want to be with. Hey, I'm all for it. Congratulations. And what happened after that?
You ran into him again. So you ran into him at the mall and then
the football game.
Okay.
Yeah, the football game. So I met her, real nice girl, nice lady, sorry. We had just had a good time as friends. Like he always been, a friend. And it wasn't anything like that, any weird or, energy was off or anything like that. So, went with the vibes. And that was December of 23.
Okay.
23. Yeah, that was December 23. So fast forward to August of last year, 24.
Yeah, because between that time from December to August, you had never mentioned him.
It was nothing to mention. Like he was just, you know what I'm saying? You're in a relationship, out of sight, out of mind. You over here. So fast forward to August, I'm dating in and out or whatever. August came. I had a dream about this man. And it was so real that it scared me because I'm like, why am I even dreaming about him? You belong to somebody else, And so I'm like, they kind of bother my spirit a little bit because I'm the type of person, like, if I have a dream about somebody or if I think about somebody, I'm probably going to reach out to you, how's life? Are you okay? Sending love, sending light, praying for you. But for that situation, it was weird because the dream was almost like he was coming back to me. So I didn't know if I say it again.
What was the dream?
So the dream was he showed up at my front door, almost looking like kind of sad in a sense. And he had a bag. I opened the door. He was right there. And I'm like confused. Why are you here? And he just like fell into my arms, like the biggest hug ever. And, I told you he was engaged. So the fiance just like came around the corner from my apartment. And then I just woke up. I didn't know what to think about that dream. I'm like, is this for real? Is something going on? Because I'd like to say I'm a very spiritual person. So if something comes to me in that manner, I like to act on it or pray. Why did it come to me? So came to work, didn't speak about it or anything, but I knew I felt weird. Something in me felt uneasy, seriously. Because I didn't know what to think about it. For one, because he was engaged. I didn't want to, interject anything or come in between anything or nothing like that. So I did not eat breakfast that day, which is weird because if you know me, you know I'm gonna eat my breakfast.
Yeah, I don't remember you eating breakfast. I remember you coming to my office, but I don't remember you eating breakfast.
I didn't eat no breakfast. I bring breakfast in there every single day. If I'm not bringing it, I'm ordering it. But I had it and I did not eat because I really felt like I had to go into prayer, deep, hard prayer. So that's when I went back into my office. I think I listened to about 4 sermons that day before lunchtime.
Okay.
And the first
every sermon you was coming in there to me.
I sure did. Like this is what he just said. And every single one was directly to me. Like it was telling me things. And I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and tell Jill. Jill, did I ever tell you about Angel?
Like, oh no, what happened to director?
It's funny now because that's exactly how it happened. So you gave me a little motivation, a little encouragement. So I did.
And I did tell you, I said he's engaged, so he's off limits. You said he's engaged. You told me that he was engaged. I was like, well, basically, I said toss him with the other guys. He's off limits.
That's right. You did. But you did say pray about it. And I did just that. I got off work that day. I had to go get my God baby. I remember. I ain't listened to any music. I prayed the whole ride, hour and a half there, hour and a half back home. And got home. I remember we was getting ready for bed and I ran across Angel's social media that, he was out and about with some friends. And I was like, I think this is my chance to go ahead and ask because I didn't want to text him. So I asked him, hey, I don't know why, but I thought about you. I hope all is well. And he responded back.
Well, go back because go back to his engagement. Because he got engaged.
Yeah. So when I ran into him at the mall, he was buying his engagement ring. So, this is for real. This is serious. So I was like, oh my gosh. So he knew that I also have a catering business. So he was like, I'm interested in, booking you for catering for the engagement. He told me how it was all going to be set up and when it was going to be. Yes, they bought a house together. The engagement was going to be at the housewarming, so that was going to be the event that I was getting booked for, the housewarming. So then I never got the invite. I didn't think nothing too much in it, but now, like looking back, I think that was one of God's plans. I didn't need to be there because of where this story is going. So yeah, where was I at? Fast forward.
So that night you picked up your God baby.
Yeah,
so that he was having guys' night out on social media.
Guys' night out. I said, hey, you ran across my mind. Hope all is well. Thinking about you. And he was like, hey, I'm okay, but something's happening, but everything's gonna be all right. And that let me know everything I needed to know because it wasn't a straightforward answer. Um, I felt like it was kind of like a underlining message answer, like what you really saying. So I was like, okay. I didn't even really have a response after then because it kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. But I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, I'll call you later to give you the full story. So now I'm nervous. I said, all right, Lord, you brought this man in my dreams. You brought him to light. Something's finna happen because the responses is what's getting me. Now we're gonna back up a little bit more because you said I was dating director. So when I prayed on the way to get my God baby, I haven't heard from the director that entire day. Matter of fact, the whole weekend. It's almost like he fell off the face of the earth.
Mm-hmm. It's like he disappeared.
Disappeared. I mean, that literally was nobody but God because
Ishmael, y'all. Director was the Ishmael. But go ahead.
Ishmael. Oh, I remember that video. I hope y'all be watching because I watched that video too. Yeah, he just disappeared. And I talked to that man every day. Even at work, getting off of work. Like we always check in. And when he didn't reach out to me, I didn't either because I knew it was a reason. Not to be, malicious or anything, but I knew what I prayed about and God took full control.
Mm-hmm.
So when he called me, when Angel called me that night, it was about 1:00 in the morning. And he laid on me everything from 6 months prior to that conversation, that they had broken up, that I was already in his mind. He just didn't know how to come to me. He was praying about me, how to even approach the situation because of his situation. Didn't want to be too messy. I mean, y'all, he was just like pouring his heart out to me, and all I could do was just like sit there like this, like, oh my gosh, this is actually here. Like this is happening. He's saying this right now.
So what happened to the fiance?
The fiance, she ended up reaching out the next morning. So it's crazy because, okay, she moved out of the house. Now, mind you, I told you they bought a house together. So she moved out of the house about 4 months before August. Y'all add that up. Okay. So when I reached out to him, we talked, communicated all that night. She wasn't home during that time. She moved out. Ironically, the day he came to so I missed the part. Thank you, Jill. Keep me in line. So when we had that conversation, he wanted to see me in person so we can actually talk face to face. I know it was late at night. It was 2:00 in the morning. Hey, we just had to do that. So he came over. We talked face to face. Ironically, she came home that night, like in the middle of the night. And she ended up reaching out to me and him, basically, where you at? He left his watch at home. So, she went snooping. So she got my number. I know you with him, da-da-da-da-da. It kind of got a little messy. So now I felt a little guilty because I'm like, I wasn't trying to get in the middle of that. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I didn't even think it was it's very sensitive, very touchy, this whole situation. Like it was still fresh, but it was just a conversation. It wasn't anything of wrongdoing or anything. The timing of everything is just like, wow.
And even you having the God baby there was just like a block, was a buffer. Yeah.
Right. So that nothing else would happen. Right. So that happened. Of course, I didn't respond to her, but he let me know that situation was taken care of. I prayed about that because I really felt ill feel in me. Because I'm really not like that to be like trying to take somebody, man,
Right.
So yeah, we had a conversation after that. But how fast God moved on that Friday, I fasted the entire weekend. Fasting and praying. Because I knew
that morning you called me and Terrence.
Yep.
Like shaken.
I had probably like 3-4 hours of sleep. I woke up like, Jill, you won't believe this. This is why I felt like this at work. This is what happened when I was after work. Like I felt like I was at work going into your office again. Like I really gave it all to you because I was like, what am I supposed to do right now? Like,
you feel like you caught in them, even though they have broken up 4 months prior,
like
they
I got
still
caught in
own the house together.
It felt like I got caught in the crossfire. I felt like I did something wrong.
Right.
I did.
So what happened after since like what started happening?
So after then, we started communicating every day. We talked about, honestly, we started talking about God. I've never had any type of relationship where I can openly talk about what God has done. And the way that we connected, we both knew that it was literally God ordained. Yeah. Literally, like seriously, because he was praying for, what I was praying for, it's like we just came together just like that. So we really started deep diving into what was happening. Every day, every morning we talked, we both, work 8 to 5. So every morning we would talk about devotion. What's the word of the day? Every Sunday, what the preacher talk about. It was really, really, really intimately in Christ. Yeah. Right. So it became, it was very consistent for a good minute.
Yeah. So very consistent. And then I remember there was a time where the consistency stopped. It was because he was going through the sale of the house. So what?
Yes. So they sold the house. Well, during that moment in the process of selling the house, I've never had a house, so I don't know how stressful it is, but because he was doing it alone and, and with the breakup, it was a lot going on. And I feel that he didn't want to put those energies on me because everything was just negative, the fighting or anything that came about with the house, who's going to take what, money, splitting the money. Like it was a lot. It was a lot. And I feel that was, pulling him away from me in a sense, because it's like when you talk to me, he just was reminded of so many different things. So I feel that he had to go through a lot of that on his own. And then on the flip side, you have me who's like wondering, where you at, Angel? Like, what's going on? How you doing? How your day?
We were talking every day, and then you just,
and now you just like disappeared.
Yeah.
And as a woman, it's like, where did I go wrong? Like, what did I say wrong? What did I do that was wrong? So it's like, it really makes you think that it's really you. I thought that for a little minute.
So put a pin in it. So Angel went on to handle his business, to handle his business, some unfinished business. What? Okay. I started seeing a change because then you stop going out. That was the first thing I think I saw. You stopped going out. Like I would say, well, what you got planned when you get off of work? I'm going home. I'm going home. What started happening between August and now in your life?
God was speaking to me. I feel like with any and everything, it's not even about sermons. It can be about people coming my way. Anything I might see, on the media or anything. I feel like he was telling me so much that I had to be quiet. I had to weed out distractions. I had to literally get it away from me because I had to hear what God was saying to me. And, social butterfly, I was just like, gosh, I want to have fun. And sometimes, I might, dibble dab a little bit. But for the most part, I have been sitting down trying to listen. He told me to be, and I heard that so many times. So many things, like even you could say men after that situation would like try to approach me or, try to come to me like, oh, let's go here, let's go do a date or whatever. Child, these men be falling off the face of the earth. Like you say, hey, how you doing? And next day it's like disappear.
Yeah.
So I feel like that was God saying, stop.
Yeah, she's off limits. Yeah. But then you look like you didn't have an interest to even
Mhm.
go out.
Yeah. It
You did
became
a couple of
unnecessary.
things. You found a church. It was like one day you was like, I gotta go find a church. I
Oh
just
my
want.
God. Yes.
Mhm.
Church. That was crazy. Whoo, that was nothing but God. I was up 3 a.m. on a Saturday night at home doing nothing. Didn't go out or anything. Just was up. And I remember Mama told me to Google a Mount Moriah church.
Mhm.
Now, a backstory, she told me that back when I stayed in Spartanburg, but for some
Okay.
reason that still was in my head. Moriah, search of Moriah. So I
Mhm.
did, and the first one that popped up was one downtown. And I looked at it, looked it up. It's a Baptist church. I said, okay, well, I come from the Baptist, so we might go see what that's about. And I went to church that next morning, 4 hours of sleep, popped up at church. And when I tell you, I felt at home in that church. Ooh, that's my church home. So now I found a church. I have been going consistently. They took me on in. They welcomed me with open arms. I have been involved in that church. And now I'm officially a member. And that
Oh.
was August. So now I'm officially a member.
Mhm.
Yes, I love that church. I do.
Mhm.
I do.
Mhm.
I get a blessing
They
every.
love you. The pastor wife embraced you and had
Yes.
you doing the harvest night for the kids and hosting it.
They've been putting me to work for sure. For
Oh
sure.
my God. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So that
And
was
then
something new for me too.
mhm.
But
And
once
that
God
was good. That was good because you did not go to his church because he has his own church
Mhm.
and you knew not to go to his church. You went and
Yeah, I
found
didn't
your
really want to
own
mix the
church.
two.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
went
I
and
didn't
found your
mix
own
that.
church. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um,
wrong.
and then something else you started, something else.
Yes. So that in this process, also with me learning more about the word, it makes you want to spread the word more. So now I've started a private, kind of like an intimate group called Evolve Her. So it's focused on spreading the goodness of God. We
Yeah.
do have weekly devotions that I send out
Mhm.
personally, but it's a nice group of young ladies about my age, where they probably like 25 up to about
Mhm. Mhm.
30, mid 30s.
Mhm.
Um, and we just stay connected because
Mhm.
it's really an important thing. I feel that for our age group anyway, that we have a group of people that we can actually confide in, that we can talk
Mhm.
about God, that we can
Mhm.
say, hey, this is my testimony, this is my blessing, this is where I am, or guys, I need help, I need prayer. And
Mhm.
it's so essential. I love that
Mhm.
group so much.
Mhm.
So yes,
And
it has been.
even yeah, because I can even hear her. I can hear you on the phone sometimes. Well, like with I know Diamond always, but you always on the phone. Y'all always ministering to each other. I was like, who is this girl turned into? Like, where did she come from? Like, what happened to the social butterfly? It's like your whole. When I say your whole, and to be able to watch it
Yeah.
day by day, the transformation. And it's so I gotta go back to before August. You
Mhm.
had some bumps, and you don't have to get in the story, but
Mhm.
you had some trials. What was it? What happened? Like, what happened?
Um, it was only one thing that really happened that really got to me. I lost a couple friends.
Mhm.
A situation happened where, I wasn't included, didn't feel included. And it really got to me because I didn't really know what to do. Now, these are friends of like, 2025? It's like 10 year friendships. Um, and I didn't really know what to do, what to say. But I know what I did do. I prayed. I prayed hard on that situation
Mhm.
um, for direction, for guidance. Because, like I said, I was really just stuck. Because I know I'm a person that, shows up for everybody. I'm a person that gives people grace, that understanding all the way around. But that it really, that was different. It was different. But I let it go. I let it
Yeah.
go. God said, let it go. And when he did, it's like literally what was like the next day, something happened that was big. And it was like, that was my confirmation that I did the right thing. Because as
Mhm.
hard as it was to do, I had to do it for my
Mhm.
sake.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. And you knew
Um,
you were doing
that
the
was
right
right
thing.
for, that was right for the situation.
Right.
And it was
Yep.
like
Right.
God said, all right,
Mhm.
you cut those branches off that tree. Now I'm about to show you
Mhm.
something.
Whatever doesn't bear fruit, cut it off. Whatever does not bear fruit, cut it off. That's the word. Cut it
Yep.
off. And
You've
so
always
yeah,
got that.
and I saw that the like you started to. It's like as soon as that, because that situation was horrific as well. I think everyone who was from being day to day and coming to me for advice for wisdom
Mhm.
and how to, that was like very hard for you. And but it was like as soon as you made a solid decision,
Mhm.
it's like the windows of heaven just like broke
Mhm.
open for you. It's like, and it was just like fruit started just to bear off of, like bearing
And
fruit
it's
like
so crazy because if you remember how I kept pondering on it, I was like, yes, no, I'm gonna go talk to him. Then I didn't talk to him. Like I felt the difference every decision I made. And I was like, Jill, I literally feel better when I push them to the side. Like,
uh-huh.
because the more that I was trying to intertwine and, question, figure out things, it was stressing me out and it was
Yeah,
starting to make me feel bad.
yeah.
So I really wholeheartedly feel that I made the right decision.
And
Yeah.
I think that that's what, when God is transitioning us, I think what happens is right before the transition, there's like a shedding that happens. There's like a shedding.
Mm.
And so that's what happened. And then it seems like it moved in the girlfriends a little bit, the other ones a little bit closer, but the ones that the
Oh,
way they moved in, it was like it was a godly draw. Because
mm-hmm.
it's like now when I hear you on the phone, it's like, girl,
Mm-hmm.
who you ministering to right now? Like you be on that phone. He's like, we supposed to be crunching some
Mm-hmm.
numbers right now. You be on that phone ministering to people.
I'd be like, girl, they can wait. My friend need me.
Yeah, right. And so
But
so
seriously,
what has how so when was the last, so how has your communication with Angel, what's been that like
girl.
since I think the last thing that happened is that he sold the house and it didn't go in his favor. And but what's been like from today to the last
Mhm.
time y'all communicated? Like what has that been
Yeah.
like between you two?
Um, After he sold the house, I really don't even know what happened, but I know something didn't go well. Because I felt the shift, I felt the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, After then, I mean, it was very like seldom to none. I think at that moment, I think he went a couple weeks without talking to me. And then we got into the holidays. So of course, happy Thanksgiving, you going home, what's going on. So we talked very sporadically.
Mm-hmm.
But the last time I talked to him was New Year's Eve.
But
Yeah.
before New Year's Eve, he did something.
Yeah, he did. He showed up on a Friday. So Jill said on Fridays.
There's something about them
Fridays is my day.
Fridays.
Something about Fridays. Yeah. When I came home after Christmas, so I went to South Carolina, then I came back to Charlotte. And then he reached out randomly on a Friday and was like, "Hey, what are you up to?" And I was like, "Nothing. What's going on?" And he was like, "I'm about to pull up." And I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, very, 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 very random. And he pulled up with a Christmas gift, and I was like, "Oh, like." So you do be thinking about me, like
Well, you did
it
talk to him
really.
on Christmas. You sent him a text. You said on Christmas Day, and
Yeah, I
he
text him on Christmas
responded back.
Day.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right. I text him, sent my prayers. It was a very heartfelt message.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
No
wishing him all things
expectations.
new. None, not at all. Wish you all things new, a great new year. Leave the past in the past. And what's coming in the future is everything that God has for you. And he really appreciate that. He really does appreciate the words
Mm-hmm.
that I, feed into him. He know
Mm-hmm.
I am a praying woman,
Mm-hmm.
so it's sincere, it's genuine, it's from the heart. So that was Christmas Day, and that was on a Wednesday. So yeah, 2 days after that was when he came with the Christmas presents.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is. And you said he just came and left.
Came and left. I mean, 10 minutes, 15
Wow.
tops.
Wow.
Yeah. And it really made me think, like, Liv, you really need to stop tripping. Like, just because he don't talk to you every day. You know, like, it really makes you think, like, what's going on his side, you know? But that moment made me also, like, just thank God for
that moment.
the constant moments that he showed me, like, chill. I got
And
you.
y'all had talks. I mean, y'all have had talks like he's saying that you are it. Like y'all have had heart-to-heart talks.
Yeah, deep talks about, things that he needs to work on, things like triggers, anything that you're supposed to work on before you come together as one. We've had those deep talks. Yes.
But y'all don't talk every day.
Nope.
And y'all haven't talked since New Year. You said you talked to him on New Year.
We have not talked yet in 2025.
How do you feel?
Right now, I really feel good. If you would have asked me that probably on New Year's Day, I would be like, girl, But the more that I pray and seek to understand, the more that I feel, okay, I'm content, because I know that God is working and he's working something out. But I get like little small reminders, that I know that, we think of each other. Yeah. So I'm really okay. I don't want to rush. I don't want to rush whatever it is that God has.
Yeah. I we did this whole series on the fruit of spirit, and it really hit us that patience is the first thing I believe God does in us in that season. He's got to develop patience in us. That's the first characteristic of love. And everybody, including myself, who's gone through this period, is that patience with the woman that is like, it's hard. It's hard.
It's difficult.
Until you get to that place of peace. Yeah, it is. And I think you're going into the part of peace, into the place of peace.
Yeah.
All right, Uncle T, what you think Angel is going through?
Oh gosh.
Well, I'll tell you this. This is the first time I've heard the story, so I definitely was listening intently. I tell you that. But I believe there's a handful of things that he could be going through, and I don't have in my head. I don't have these in any certain order. But what I will say is, it can be in any one of these. It can be any combination, or it can be all. Okay. So the first thing I would say he's trying to do, or he is actually doing, is he's trying to rediscover his identity as a single man. You got to remember, his mind was already in move. It was in transition of being engaged. It was in transition of already knowing the wedding date and already planning and moving himself forward. So even though they broke up and all of that, yes, that was just it's over. Just getting it out your mouth. But in your heart, in your spirit, in your head, all of those things, it's going to take time for him to transition out of that to feel good about being a dude again, and then be able to bring in the new woman without having any backlash and without having you feel like, oh, you don't have any closure, or there's something still going on. And so he has to get himself into being back the guy that, is 100% sure in what he's doing, and that everything he's doing is above board, so he can move forward. That's one thing. Another thing is, I believe that because his family and friends had already co-signed on his wedding and his marriage to that other young lady, I believe that now that it's over, there were some friends and family members that were friends to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So he's dealing with some backlash of why in the world is this ended? What happened? They trying to find out the story like everybody else. But the problem is he has to keep some distance away from you. So they don't try to accuse you of being the reason that him and her broke up. So when you two announce y'all's engagement, there ain't no backlash of people saying, wait a minute, hold up. You finna marry somebody that broke up your last. So he has to keep that distance while he's doing this. So you're not included in all this negative stuff that's going on. Does that make sense? And
that makes sense.
I believe that
because they go to the same church. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So,
right.
So again, you know,
or him and let me make it clear, him and the ex go to the same church.
Yeah. So every single day, there's people coming up, still trying to find out what's going on and why it happened, and he don't want you to be a part of that negative stuff. And if you're there, then it's going to bring some drama to your life, which is totally opposite of what he's trying to do. So there's the distance there. I believe he's also putting space between you so he can get that closure. So he can say, I know I did the right thing. I know I'm doing this the right way, but let me make sure all of this stuff is out of my system. You talked about triggers just a minute ago. So you don't have any triggers coming into this that you might hit, not even knowing you just hit a trigger. And then so he has to get past all of that. And time is going to take care of that. And the great thing about it is you're a praying woman. So God has already got you covered. And he's working on you right now, and the things that he has to work on. I believe there's another that says that he's wanting to make sure that he stay in alignment with God in order before moving forward with you, to make sure that all this other stuff is being taken care of in the way that God will have it be taken care of. And again, the least involvement you have in it, or the less involvement you have in it, the better. Because all of it will appear to everybody else as if you came in and broke them up.
Right.
Especially to those that don't know what actually happened. So for him involving you as little as he has, that's him just saying, I'm protecting you. I don't need you to have any of the backlash from any family member, any friends, any people that think they being loyal to her. And so that's what he's doing. So I believe it can be any one of those, but I also believe it can be every single one of them.
Yeah.
That he's going through right now. And at the same token, what's keeping him strong is knowing that you actually care about him and you trust him.
Yeah, because I think that's what's happening as far as the consistency. That's why I hate when women talk about measuring a man based on consistency. He's not consistent. Because I've heard, from a number of people, a number of men, that once they feel like they have secured the woman, they don't feel like they have to check in every single day at every single same time. They feel comfortable with saying this can be organic. And so one of the things I'm glad that you did not get caught up in, because I think a lot of women bail out too quick. I think that they bail out too quick. So I'm glad that you didn't get caught up on the consistency. Kelsey, you trying to say something? You want to put your question in there or your comment. But yeah, I'm glad you did that. The other thing is that spin the block. We always talk about this, spin the block.
Yeah.
A lot of people always say, you don't get nobody who spin the block. You don't know how God gonna work. So I believe, you don't know who God gonna bring back around. Oh, Kelsey said, can y'all please keep this live up? This is helping me a lot as well. Oh, Kelsey, yes, we will. So I'm glad you didn't say, well, no, been there, done that. I'm glad you didn't get caught up that. But the other point I want to make is that at the end of the day, even though we believe that God said that he's the one, even though you believe God said he's the one, and even though he believed God says you're the one, God also gives us free will and free choice. And so for whatever reason, he can say, I've decided that I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. And that's why it's so important. And then we know that if that happens, he's hurt from someone. He's traumatized, that because the enemy came. That's what the enemy does. It's so cunning. That enemy will come and appear as the love of your life and come to traumatize you, to help to keep you from who God has for you. So that's why in this season, you got to really go in prayer. And that's why a lot of people couldn't understand why I shut down like you do. Like while you were in, I was like, something going on, and I need to pray this man through it. I don't know this man, but something is going. So you got to stay prayed up, because he needs help in the spirit realm to get him detangled from that entanglement. He needs to be detangled. Amen. So, but yeah, just seeing you every day, oh, that man, he love you.
And here's the thing.
I've heard the texts. I've seen the texts.
He knows
that man love you.
He knows that you need to be reassured. That's why he showed up and gave you the present. He showed up to say, look, don't you ever think that you're not on my mind. Now I got to go back and finish doing what I'm doing, but I just wanted to make sure, because I went through the same thing with her.
I was like, this dude, what the heck?
She said, I don't think that you're supporting me or you're there for me in the way that I need, because my family is going through this pandemic and COVID, and you're not helping. I packed a bag that night.
Yeah.
Drove across this state.
It was like Brian and Mahogany. He was sitting on my couch with his coat and his hat on. I opened up my room because I had just gave him a key. I opened up my room door. This man is sitting laid back.
I know that's right.
No, you better not can tell you. And so, and that whole day.
You know what's crazy? What? When Uncle T, when you said he came and said, don't ever think that you're not on my mind. Jill, do you remember a couple months ago when we wasn't talking, and when me and Angel wasn't talking, and I was like, why he not talking to me? I don't want to bother him. I don't want to text him because I feel like I'm gonna be getting on his nerves. And I prayed, and that very next day I had that dream. I had another dream where in the dream he said, don't you ever think that you bothering me. Like, cause I was like, no, I'm not gonna bother you. Like in the dream, he literally said that. So that was another thing that really made me like back up, like just relax, let it all play out how it's gonna play out. But God really does answer prayers, because every single time I go into a deep prayer for him, something happens that very next day, whether somebody say something about him, or I might see something that's going to remind me of him. Or even like today, I seen a car that looked just like his. Like, always
But the other thing I want to point out is that what we've noticed that on Fridays, it's like he shows up, and this is what I had advised Olivia to do, is on Fridays make sure you fast, because something in the spirit realm happens on Fridays for him, because it's on Fridays when it's like it's like something happens, like he reaches out, he shows up, he calls you. It's something about Fridays that, and it's so powerful. God will begin to show you things. He will begin to tell you things and reveal things. And so, And
it's always beautiful when you can rest in God's timing.
Yes.
And once you get to a maturity to where you can do that, then good things are going to happen, because you're allowing God to be God.
Yep. You say, I don't know how this going to end. I don't know what's the turnout that's going to be, but I trust you, because it's a win-win for me either way.
Either way,
it's a win.
That was the last. That was the 6th thing on y'all's list. One of the videos I watched of y'all. The 6 things. What did it say? 6 things to do if God showed you your spouse. That was number 6. Rest in God.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because when you were watching that video, you had just said, "Oh my God." We had said the first thing was to stand still. You had
Yep.
just told me that morning that God told you to stand still. And then you went to watch the video. You were like, "Oh my God, y'all just said what God
That's
had
crazy.
just told you to stand still."
That's crazy. That was the first message and Evolve Her for the year was be still. And the second thing on y'all's list was fast and pray. And I was already started to fast. So it's like, okay, God, I hear you. I see you. We going in the right direction.
And then your friends, we don't have to go on with your friends stuff, but your friends started telling you some stuff and revealing some stuff. They're seeing stuff in the spirit realm as well. So that's how it's like, just sit back and let the love story unfold. Just let it. He's going through he's in his rest period, and God doing the work in him. He going through surgery. God taking his rib out. God took his rib out. He's God done took that man rib out. Mm-hmm. So
That's
he in recovery. He in recovery. So, but yeah, y'all got any questions? Y'all got any questions or anything for Olivia? Anybody? So, what's some advice? Give us some advice that you would give anybody who's in your situation or who's just even maybe God hasn't shown them the person yet. Like, you know what it's like when you wanted somebody, the one, and it wasn't yet.
Wow. Y'all, the only thing that I could do was pray. Like,
seek God.
All I could do was pray. Seek God. That was the biggest thing. My favorite scripture, Matthew 6:33. Seek first the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
And all his ways will come to you. And that is a very true statement. You have to have your full entire trust and faith in God that whatever you ask for, he will give you the desires of your heart. All you have to do is be patient and continue to give God all the praise through it all, through the process.
Yeah.
And that's the only advice that I can have is really trust the process. Because I tell you that it's trying for me, with me going through it now, teaching me patience that's probably the hardest thing that I've been taught is patience.
Me too.
When you have control over anything, when you can't see nothing, you can't say nothing, like it's like, all right, God told you to sit down and shut up.
Yep.
Just like that. And you have to follow his will.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it. It sounds so simple, but it's so deep.
Yeah.
But it feels so good.
It feels does. So good. It's a space of peace, right? It's unexplainable.
It's rewarding, unexplainable. And I remember I told you that. That was the sermon that I told you I listened to, Pastor Sarah Jakes, that Friday. And she said, you're about to have this unexplainable joy. I don't know if you remember me saying that, but that stuck to me. I wrote that down on my computer, unexplainable joy. And ever since, even my friends will say, you just so happy. Like, I mean, grinning. Y'all know me, I'm always a bubbly person. But it was a different type of glow. It was a different happiness. And I firmly believe that it's the unexplainable joy.
Yeah,
and I continue to
joy
over my life. And with that joy is a peace.
It's a peace. That's how I have to explain it. It's a peace. And it's a different, and it's when you find the one, it's different. Is you ain't never experienced it before. It's different. It's different. And then you got it's like you gotta continue to seek God to get to play. It's like you got to continue to be like, all right, Lord, I ain't looking nowhere. I don't want to miss nothing. You are literally focused on him. And whoever gets mad, oh, well. Like, I ain't never been here before. So I don't want to, this is, it's a difference. It's a difference. So, all right. Anything you want to say?
This was exciting. This is the
Yes. And we will definitely, Kelsey, we will definitely keep it up.
Yes.
So
yes, I can go watch myself too.
yeah, look, you're gonna watch yourself and get inspired. You're gonna be like, oh my God, I'm so inspired. Who is this person talking?
I believe that. I believe that. Like, wow, look at me. Yeah, but who would have thought? But it was nobody but God. And I just, continue to trust, continue to seek, continue to do the works of the Lord, and everything is really all going to work out in my
active in your church. You active with your girl group. And it's a beautiful thing to watch. And I'm honored to watch. I'm honored that God uses me. You always need, that's the advice I would give. You need somebody who's going to be there to help pray you through. You need a circle of, good people that's going to help, you got to know who's in your ear.
Even at the start of this, when I first came to you about it, how my mindset was, I would have bailed. I would have been long gone. You know what I'm saying?
You would have bailed. And the beautiful thing about it is not about the guy, it's about the work that the Lord is doing in you. You would have bailed, and
you have to want that.
Yeah.
I wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
I thank God for where I am. I thank God for this platform. And hoping it, reach someone who needs it.
All right. Kelsey said God showed her who the one is, and she think after this long wait, it's finally about to happen. All right, Kelsey, we're looking forward to interviewing you next, because you've been on here since day one.
Yes.
It's the year. Something is happening in the spirit realm. It looks like it's defeat, but it's a victory. It's a transfer of wealth happening. It is prosperity. It is all. It's so God's people is about the benefit, and so all kind of things are happening. So as I said in the live before we came on, in this season, don't miss the assignment that God is want for you. God gives us blocks of time to do things, so make sure you don't miss your seasons. And so
miss your blessing.
Don't miss your blessing.
When God say move, God say move your feet.
Exactly.
Run. Actually, look what they say. Run, don't walk.
Yes, I'm so proud of you of what you're doing in your girl group. All right, I hear you, Kelsey. I'm so proud of you, what you're doing in your girl group, and you're encouraging them, and they're getting breakthrough. And so, it's just a blessing to watch. So
thank you.
Continue to seek God, because the more you seek him, the clearer his response is going to be to you. And so many people, I was just telling Jill this, that there's been so long. She and I study a lot of stuff, but it's been so long when I actually sat down and said, I'm going to read for the next hour, next 2 hours and study. And we have to do that, because we have to keep learning, and we have to keep evolving and getting more discernment. And the only way to do that is by feeding yourself the word and seeking God.
Yes.
And as you do it, he's going to continue to speak to you, but his voice is going to become clearer and clearer and clearer to the point where you're going to be able to hear him over people standing next to you, screaming and shouting about something that ain't got nothing to do with what he's talking to you about.
So every
you've done an amazing job.
Yes, you did. Yes, and please, y'all know every story is different. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't try to predict anything. You don't know how God gonna move. You don't know if God gonna spin the block on you. You don't know if God is the person is in a relationship. And I dare not touch, like, if somebody's married. That's not your business. Leave that alone. You don't know, but you don't know what the situation is right now with your future mate. You don't know how God gonna bring it through. None of that. So don't prejudge. You just don't know. And so you just got to trust God and trust his timing and trust his process, and be willing to submit to his rule and his authority. All right. So that's it for the Smiths and for Miss Olivia Johnson, because we got to be back at the office.
Yes.
Bright
so
and
before
early.
we leave, let's first give her a warm round of applause for telling her story.
Yes.
We definitely thank you for coming on. We know it's not easy sometimes speaking to a group that you don't know, so we appreciate it.
Yes.
And we pray that the rest of you have an amazing remainder of your evening.
Yes, Olivia, stay on. We're going to click off the live. And so thank you all for coming on. Ashley, Kelsey. I think I seen your best friend on here, Alicia. Yeah, Alicia.
Yeah.
Of course, CD
Yeah.
on here.
My best.
My mom is on here. Yeah, I see your bestie is on here. So y'all continue to keep my girl up in your prayers. All right, and lift it up. All right. You all be blessed. Good night. Deuces.
Bye.